Alright guys, moving right along to the next Patreon request, and this one comes from Cyborg 19.99, who asked me to do a X-Men RWBY crossover. So here we go. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this, and yeah, let's get started with the video. So this story begins with Yang waking up in a new, like all she remembers is her and RWBY were knocked out by some unknown assailant. Like, they were attacked by some unknown assailant, and now she's woken up in some new landscape. It looks like a normal forest and whatnot, but unfortunately there's someone there waiting for her. That someone is Wolverine. So yeah, Wolverine is there, and Yang's already not in a good mood because she doesn't know where her sister is, she doesn't know where her girlfriend is, she doesn't know where anyone is, and now she's encountering someone who she thinks is someone who's got a semblance, but no, she's kind of miffed. And Wolverine is like, look kid, I don't have time for this, I got thrown into this situation, so you best get out of... I'm in a very sour mood, so please, get out of my way. And Yang proceeds to punch him in the face. So Wolverine's like, alright kid, if you ain't gonna listen to reason, you're just gonna have to listen to these. Just pops his claws, the two get into a fight. Over on the other side, on another landscape, which is more like an icy region, Weiss wakes up and she finds herself in like this icy landscape, and that's where she encounters Iceman, and the two do battle there. On another end, you have Blake, who Blake encounters. She's in a canyon, and that's where she encounters Gambit. Finally, we have a city-urban area where RWBY encounters Cyclops. So we have all these. So all of the X-Men and Team RWBY are fighting each other for unknown reasons, and it's not just them. It turns out that there are tons of people from Remnant and the X-Men fighting each other. You have like Jean taking on. You have Jean and Nightcrawler fighting. You have Nora doing battle with Colossus. You have Lee taking on Jean. You have a lot. Like, everyone is fighting everyone else. Like, the X-Men and Team RWBY are locked they're locked in combat, and there's no getting out. There's no getting out of it. It's just fighting all around. So during the fight with RWBY and Cyclops, RWBY, while she's battling, she's like, I don't know who you are, but you're gonna tell me where my friends are, and then you're gonna surrender. I don't care what your semblance is. He's like, semblance? I don't know what you're talking about, but you attacked me first. And she's like, yeah, but that's beside the point. I don't know, so yeah, it's maybe my fault, but you're okay, it's your fault, it's my fault, my bad. So Cyclops explains to RWBY that, we got attacked, my team and I got attacked, and then we woke up here. So what happened? What happened to you? And she's like, well, we got attacked too, and then we went, and then everything went black for us. So we don't know what happened on our end either. So, what's going on? What really is going on, and do you know what it is? And he's like, no, but I think, but I got a hunch. So as they're fighting, RWBY and Cyclops decide to team up. What happens is that the person watching is like, no, this is not supposed to happen. Let's even it up a bit. So that's when that person sends in Sabretooth. And so RWBY and Cyclops have to battle Sabretooth. It's also that Grimm and other X-Men villains have been excuse me, have been basically sent in. Even Deadpool, and they're like, Wade, what are you doing? Like, Wade attacks Logan and Yang, and Logan's like, what the hell are you doing, Wade? And he's like, I'm getting paid. Sorry, Logan, but this happens every so often in a crossover. I have to be the bad guy. Bang, 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 bang. So Wade attacks them. You have and it's all coming together quickly. Like, it's all coming together ever so quickly that that whatever's going on is like a game show. It's like a big show to everybody, and they're like, show. Cyclops is like, yeah, it feels like a big TV show, and he's like, isn't that right, Mojo? And sure enough, yeah, the villain of this story is Mojo, not Mojo Jojo. I'm talking the leader of the Mojo-verse, Mojo. So Mojo had gone to RWBY, and he had been watching the RWBY universe because he was getting bored of the X-Men, and he saw them and was like, ooh, these guys look really cool. Maybe I'll abduct them and, do as I please with them. But then he was worried, he was really worried about, what if people don't accept them on Mojoverse, because it's all ruled by ratings. So Mojo decided, let's have a little contest to see if the X-Men are still popular in my universe, or is it these RWBY characters that everyone likes? Let's really see who's the better off of the two. So, but the thing is, he didn't work alone. It turns out that in order to get everyone he wanted, the first place Mojo went to was the Ever After, and actually was the one who found Neo after she got defused from the cat. So Neo was recovered by Mojo, and she's still pretty evil. It's not like, oh, I give you a tip of my hat, now I'm going to go jump in a tree. Nah, she's still a horrible human being. So she's like, yeah, if this gives me she was like, okay, this gives me another shot at, taking out Team RWBY, so fucking be it. I will gladly try to kill that bitch again. So Neo was the one who helped Mojo gather everyone, and she wasn't working alone. In fact, she was actually working with Mojo's right-hand woman, Spiral, to collect everyone. So the first thing that Scott and RWBY do is gather the X-Men and the others. So they have to break. There's barriers between these little worldscapes, or studios, as Mojo calls them. So RWBY and Cyclops work together to break out and free the other X-Men and the Hunters and Huntresses. Together, the groups unite, and they're like, oh, of course, we got thrown... doesn't this feel like a typical crossover? We all got, we got into a big fight, and now we're just... and now we're being forced to, team up, and it's like, yeah, it's so cliche. Of course, Mojo's the master of cliches. So that's what happens, is they break down the... they finally find a way to Mojo's studio throne room, where Mojo has been using inhibitors and his own technology to take control of Grimm. So from there, they have to fight their way through a multitude of Grimm and a few X-Men villains that he has under his control too, until finally they get to Mojo himself, where Mojo's like, oh shit, okay, I give, this wasn't in the script, so I'm just gonna let it, I don't like rewrites, so here you go, you're all free. So Mojo agrees if they don't kill him, he'll let them return to their separate universes. And that's basically what happens by the end of it. Neo escapes, but now she's back in the main RWBY universe, rather than trapped in the Ever After. So there you go. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this X-Men RWBY crossover? Once again, I'd like to thank Cyborg19.99 for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. Like I said earlier, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the 3rd tier, and then you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.